injured and $150 million of property damage, they were amazed to learn that the leader most respected by those violent teenagers was not Stokely Carmichael nor H. Rap Brown, but Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 6 weeks after the Detroit riot, the National Conference for New Politics, NCNP, scheduled a national convention over the Labor Day weekend in Chicago. The gathering of 5,000 delegates from all around the country and from every walk of life was expected to support a third-party presidential ticket of Dr. King and Dr. Spock. We now know how much shock this prospect caused at the highest levels of government. So caught up were we in the fight for social change that we didn't appreciate the strength and determination of the opposition. It has become clear to me that by 1967, a siege mentality had descended on the nation's establishment forces, including its federal law enforcement, intelligence, and military branches. At the best of times, official Washington and its appendages throughout the country are highly insular and protective. In 1967-1968, with the barbarians, as they would have regarded them, gathering just outside the gates of power, any move in defense of the system and its special economic interests would have been viewed as a patriotic duty. All significant organizations committed to ending the war or fostering social or economic change were infiltrated, subjected to surveillance, and/or subverted. This book has been in development since 1978 and reflects a long-term effort to uncover the truth about the assassination. It does not cover the full scope of the investigation, since many leads were examined and discarded, and much information, however interesting, ultimately turned out to be superfluous to the central story. In 1988, I agreed to represent James Earl Ray, and by 1990, I had become convinced that the only way to end his wrongful imprisonment would be to solve the case. The investigation on which the book is based has been focused on that goal. However, for a period of nearly 7 years prior to publication, I've tried in every way possible to put evidence of James's innocence before a court. Frustrated at every turn, I now turn to the court of last resort, the American people. This story has taken 27 years to unfold. This is largely the result of the creation and perpetration of a cover-up by government authorities at local, state, and national levels. I've become convinced that, had they not met obstruction from within their own ranks, some of the honest, competent Memphis homicide detectives I've come to know over the years could have ferreted out enough evidence to warrant indicting several Memphians on charges ranging from accessory before and after the fact to conspiracy to murder in the first degree. Among those indicted would have been some of their fellow officers. Even without official obfuscation, however, it's unlikely that these detectives could have traced the conspiracy further afield to its various well-insulated sources. As will become increasingly clear, it was inevitable that such a local police investigation wouldn't be allowed, and that each and every politically sponsored official investigation since 1968 would disinform the public and cover up the truth. Years of investigation led to an unscripted television trial in 1993 that resulted in a not guilty verdict. My subsequent investigation has unearthed powerful new evidence. The stories of several key witnesses, silent for 27 years, are revealed for the first time. Although we will never know each and every detail behind this most heinous crime, we now have enough hard facts to overwhelmingly support James Earl Ray's innocence. The body of new evidence, if formally considered, would compel any independent grand jury, which, as of the time of this writing, we have been seeking for a year and a half, to issue indictments against perpetrators who are still alive. Even as this book goes to press, we are pursuing all possible avenues through the courts to obtain justice and free James, as well as to bring to account those guilty parties whom we have identified. Ultimately, there are many victims in this case: Dr. King, James Earl Ray, their families, and the citizens of the United States. All have been victimized by the abject failure of their democratic institutions. The assassination of Martin Luther King and its cover-up extends far and wide into all levels of government and public service. Through the extensive control of information and the failure of the system of checks and balances, government has inevitably come to serve the needs of powerful special interests. As a result, the essence of democracy, government of, by, and for the